What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another video. In this one, I am going to be talking about how the top 10% of men get everything. Now, the reason why I'm making this video is because I know that there are a lot of men out there that feel cheated by the system. They feel like they were dealt a crappy set of cards at the table. And a lot of men love to sit around and bitch and complain and moan about the fact that they weren't born with specific things. Whether it be born into a family with a lot of money, or born with perfectly symmetrical abs, or born with good looks, I'm here to tell you that if you've ever looked around and thought, I feel like I got the short end of the stick, that means that you've actually tuned into reality. You're onto something. You're making progress. And it's not wrong of you to feel that way. It's totally fine. It's totally normal. In fact, 90% of men, maybe even more, feel that exact way. It's a channel that a lot of people choose to not tune into. They choose to avoid it. They choose to live in a world of delusion. You see, a lot of people like to disconnect from reality and try to act like it doesn't matter the way that you look, the way that your body looks, the way that you speak doesn't matter, the way that you carry yourself doesn't matter, the way you walk into a room, the way that you communicate. But the truth is, it definitely does. And at our core, we all have very animalistic tendencies. We're constantly monitoring each other, seeing how other people react, even if it's subconsciously, reading each other's body language, trying to figure out what makes certain people tick. Although we like to think that we make a lot of decisions based off of reason and based off of rationality, emotion actually drives the majority of our decisions. And once we understand that for ourselves, then what we need to do is go out and apply that to others and say, wow, most of these other people, these other humans, are operating in a state of emotional decision making. And this leads to the top 10% of men making most of the money, getting most of the women, having the most influence, and garnering the most attention. Now, once you learn the cold, harsh reality of this situation, as it starts to set in, you have two options that you can choose. You can either sulk and you can say, woe is me, I wish that I was dealt a better set of cards. Or you can capitalize on the fact that now you understand reality and you can use it to your advantage. You can use it to play the game. You can use it to win the game. There are some people that might hear this and think that it sounds a little bit evil. Like, Brandon, what are you suggesting? You're suggesting that you use the fact that humans are emotional creatures in order to win, in order to navigate life? Yes, that is exactly what I am suggesting. But if you choose to operate in the rational and use reason, if you're somebody that likes to say, oh, but I don't really care about the emotional side of things, I want to stay in the rational, in the reason side of things, you will come to find that it's very harsh. It's very, very blunt. And a lot of people will confuse that harshness, that bluntness, that reality for being evil. Because reality in and of itself is true. That's what it is. It's the truth of reality. And it seems harsh to people because we as humans love to try to cover up our animalistic tendencies. We like to try to hide them away and act like we're some sort of civilized, elevated human. But the reality is, we aren't very different from other animals. We operate a lot of times based off of survival. The truth is, we are very dark creatures capable of great destruction. And with this power of knowledge comes great responsibility. It's very important to use this information for good. And our society doesn't like the harsh reality. They try to suppress it. They prefer to live in a world of delusion. You can see that through the decisions being made in politics. People love to just live in delusion in order to shield other people's feelings, in order to keep other people from being hurt. People go to safe zones. They flee away from stress and away from the things that are triggering them, rather than sitting back and realizing, holy smokes, the things that are triggering me are so triggering because they are true, because they are real, and that's exactly what is going to cause you to grow, is facing that reality head on. So this is the second one of the two options that you can choose to take, is choosing to live in a world of delusion. And if you're watching this video, I hope that you understand that this is not the path that you're going to take. I'm not going to let you. And the fact that you're watching this video, it probably means that you go out of your way to educate yourself. And that alone means that you're actively taking responsibility and resisting the urge to wallow in victimization, in self-pity. But the path doesn't end there. In fact, that's merely the beginning. Because very similar to Neo in the Matrix, you have now swallowed the red pill. You are now living in reality. And now, it's up to you to figure out how to move forward. What do I do with this information? The top 10% of men are taking everything. The top 10% of men have the woman that I want. They get access to the woman that I want. They get access to the money that I want. They get access to the rooms that I want to be in. I want to be at the top. You have that competitive drive in you as a male, and that's not bad. I'm not here to tell you, oh no, don't be competitive. That's ridiculous. Competition is so good. It's so healthy. You can use it as a man in order to become better. People will say, oh, comparison is the thief of joy. Yeah, if you're losing, not if you're coming from nothing and you're winning and you're putting in the work, you're sacrificing your desires, you're staying disciplined and consistent. You compare yourself to the other people around you that are slaves to their desires, your life starts to look pretty good. Comparison starts to feel pretty good. You're doing a good job when you're putting in the work and staying consistent. All right? So these are the main things that you need to understand as you continue to move forward. Number one is going to be realizing that every single man struggles with vices. Every single one. You probably struggle with a lot of vices yourself. You can probably list them off. Oh yeah, Brandon, I smoke weed. I smoke weed a lot. I love to drink. I jerk off all the time. I watch porn. I eat whatever I want to eat whenever I feel like eating it. I don't exercise. I'm slothful. I avoid the hard work. I procrastinate. All these different things that you struggle with. Every other man on the planet also struggles with these vices. It's the great equalizer. We are all so similar. All right? So what does this mean? And how can you apply it to your journey moving forward? Well, if other men struggle with vices, even the ones that were dealt a better set of cards, maybe the ones that were born really good looking, they just seem to get the luck of the draw in everything. They can only ever be as good and as free as their discipline and their self-control will let them. Does that make sense to you? I'm going to say that again. All of these people who you look at and you think they've got the luck of the draw, they can only ever be as free and as good as their discipline and consistency will allow. This is what you have to focus on mastering if you want to compete with other men in the game. Learning to control your desires and learning to live by a code immediately gives you the edge over everybody else. It's the greatest way to get ahead. Every single vice that you overcome, every single temptation that you say no to is a hurdle that you have now gotten over, and every other man is going to have to get over that exact same hurdle, and many of them are going to fail. Many of them aren't going to make it. Many men are going to let lust control their lives. Many men are going to let pleasure and their desire for comfort destroy them and keep them in the same place. They should give you a healthy sense of competition that's driving you to put as many hurdles between you and your competition as you possibly can. You don't even have to run faster. All you have to do is avoid the pitfalls, avoid the common mistakes that keep 90% of men stuck. Is a man truly free if he has so much wealth and yet he is still enslaved to his own desire? The answer is no. If your end goal is freedom, which a lot of people mistakenly assume that money is the end goal when in reality it's not. Freedom is the main goal, and money can buy freedom. It can give you access to the places you want to have access to. It can give you the freedom to spend your time how you like. That man that has a lot of money is also going to struggle to avoid scrolling. He's going to struggle to avoid falling into lust. He is going to struggle to stay productive and make progress. And it is going to be painful for him, very painful, for him to say no to all of the comforts that he has access to. And they're going to make him soft if he starts to give in to them. When he starts making compromises. So what I want you to do is really evaluate, what does freedom look like to you? And is the life that you have right now a life of freedom? Are you headed down the right path? Because many of these people that have a lot of money are still in bondage. And you should understand that. But the top 10% of men, they also get all the women. This is a sad reality. You know, you may have heard me say this before, but if you try flirting when you're a 7, you might be accused of sexual assault. But when you flirt with a woman and you're above a 7, they're going to call you a strapping, attractive, masculine man that was just engaging in a little bit of banter. What are you going to do about this? You are going to focus on the controllables. That's what you're going to do. There is no reason to be spending time, energy, and effort on the things that you can't control. Hit the gym every single day. Dial in your nutrition. Dial in your supplementation. Understand how your body is functioning. Craft a life based around trying to increase your perceived value in the eyes of others. Now, when I say this, I am not saying that you should care about the opinions of others and let the opinions of others rule how you live your life. You're not operating because you want to be praised by these people, but rather because you understand how humans work. You see, this is a very, very important distinction. You shouldn't let what other people think of you affect what you do. That is one of the most crucial rules of learning to live your life rather than just existing your life. But living life is understanding how people work and understanding why people make decisions. And that is something that you should definitely use to your advantage when you play the game. Most people use their fear of what others will think to their disadvantage. Do you get that? Most people use what other people think of them to their disadvantage. It holds them back. Don't do that. I am calling on you to use it to your advantage, understanding how they operate and what their opinions will make them do. I honestly came from nothing. Now, I'm not saying that I was born in the ghetto, but I was born in the middle of nowhere in the United States, in Montana. Some of you probably don't even know where that is. My dad was a pastor of a tiny church in a small town. I didn't even hop on a plane for the first time until I was 16 years old. And when I did, I was going on a missions trip. I didn't even pay for the ticket. We weren't allowed to fly anywhere when I was younger. That's what I came from. Like, no plane tickets. Like, if we wanted to go somewhere, we just wouldn't go because it was too expensive. But if we wanted to go somewhere and we had to go somewhere, we would drive. Not allowed to fly. My parents wouldn't even let me order a soda because it was too expensive when we would go to Pizza Hut every couple months. And that was an extremely celebratory event that I would look forward to. Not allowed to order a soda though, because it was too expensive. And I realized all these principles early on, that I could either fall a slave to my vices, and I could say, oh, woe is me. I was born into a bad situation, just like most men do now, and fail to realize my potential, or I could start putting in the effort to max out my stats in every single aspect of life. Paying attention to my finances, paying attention to my fitness, paying attention to how I present myself, how I speak, how I talk, how I communicate. Do you understand how far that can get you in life? Just talking better, speaking better, walking into a room with your chest up and your shoulders back. It can get you so much further if you just stop living life like a dope. The goal of your life as a man, I don't care where you started, should be to be self-made. If you start down here, you can get all the way up to here. That's a way cooler life than starting up here and making it to here. The distance traveled is what matters. The length of the journey is what matters. That is what is going to give you the respect of others, and it's going to be where you derive the most fulfillment for yourself, because it requires the most discipline and it requires the most sacrifice. Discipline and sacrifice and consistency and commitment to our morals, our principles, our values, and our duties. That is the core of male existence. That is the beauty of male existence. So commit to it, to the long road ahead, and start chasing being a part of that top 10%. Get better every day. Learn more every day. Push your body every single day. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Make sure to drop a like down below. Drop a singular thumbs up in the comment section if you watched all the way through to the end of this video, because if you did, you've got an attention span of steel, my friend, and I'm going to give you props for that. I will see you guys all in the next one. Peace.